All right, so we're going to talk about adultery, and we're going to talk about the why people flip and end up uh, taking out um, the person that has slept with their spouse. All right, so we're talking about Proverbs chapter 6, verse 20. Starting at verse 20. My son, keep thy father's commandments, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them up upon thine heart, and tie them about thy neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is the light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of the strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in thy heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by the means of a whorish woman a man is brought down to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take the fire in his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals, and his feet not be burned? So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever touches her shall not be innocent. Men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. But whosoever commit adultery with a woman lacketh understanding, and he that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though givest many gifts. Okay? And that is basically it. Okay? Because you have men out there, um that will take out, okay, a man who has slept with their wife. Okay. All right. And people are not too kindly to take that lightly. Is this justifying it? No. But it basically explains human nature and the rage of a person who's been betrayed, and they find a person that um has, you know, dishonored them by sleeping with their spouse. Okay? So we have to keep that in mind. All right? When such things like that occur. All right? I remember a story about a woman who was a fitness influencer, and she was uh, both her and her quote unquote husband, even though they were in an adulterous relationship. Okay, both came from previous relationships with children, and she decided to have an affair behind this man's back, and he ended up taking her out and the man she was sleeping with. Okay, and an undercover cop took him out. Okay, so you can see the destructive power of the sin of adultery. All right, so that's something to think about. All right, people lose their life. Okay, committing adultery, men and women. Okay, and in the story I just described, all three lost their souls that day, that night. All three lost their souls. This was another story about a woman who was married before and she divorced and she decided to marry again to a pastor. And the husband that she was married to, the quote unquote ex-husband, found them and took them out. Okay? Proverbs is a very precious book that also talks about the psychology of human nature. All right? We're still bound by covenant as long as our spouse lives. If there's abuse, don't get me wrong, if there's abuse or anything like that, yes, you can leave. But you still have to honor that covenant as long as they live. Peace and God bless.